I found my baby daughter hanging from a tree. Written by Blair Daniels. Narrated by Dark Reads. I left her alone for 30 seconds to grab some water. When I came back, she was gone. "Casey?" I yelled. "Casey, where are you?" As if she could reply. She's only 16 months old. She knows like 5 words. "Casey!" The panic set in. I ran over to the pile of toys in the living room, the stairs she liked to climb, her little bookshelf in the family room. She wasn't there. "What's wrong?" Mark asked, poking his head out of the den. "I can't find Casey." "Wasn't she just in the family room? Weren't you watching her?" "I was, but I went to get some water. Now she's gone." A look of panic set into his face. He ran out of the room and followed me around the downstairs, shouting for her. I walked across the foyer. The front door was slightly open. No, there's no way she could have opened that all by herself. She was barely even tall enough to reach the handle. "Mark, over here." I swung the door open. Cars whizzed by on the road. Puddles collected in the damp grass. No. Did she go out in the road? The dread settled heavy in my heart. This can't be happening. Oh God, no. Please, no. Mark took off running towards the road. "She's not here," he called back, peering into the bushes along the side of the road. I whipped around, scanning the front yard. "Casey!" I screamed as loud as I could muster. I listened for her soft little babbling, for pattering footsteps through the mud, but only silence reached my ears. Right now, she could be dying, running into the woods, tripping in the brambles, falling face down into a puddle. I glanced around the yard. It became a blur of green grass, white sky. The gravity of the thought that what I chose to do in the next few minutes could decide life or death for my daughter fell upon me. I was paralyzed. And what if someone took her? No, there was no way. We would have heard them come in. "Amanda!" Mark was calling from the backyard. "Amanda!" I took off across the grass. My feet slipped in the mud. As I rounded the corner of the house, a terrible sight came into view. A tiny pink dot at the far end of the yard, hanging from the gray, twisted branches of a tree. "Casey?" I screamed, my voice now hoarse. "Casey!" Mark stood at the base of the tree, paralyzed, staring up at her. I got to the tree. There, I recognized everything. Her little mouse print pink shirt, her brown curls, her light blue stretchy pants pulled over motionless legs. She hung there, in one of the lower branches, as still as a corpse. Oh God, no. I kicked off my shoes and pulled myself up. I grabbed her by the arm and carefully pulled her through the branches. She was too cold, too light. Casey? I was staring at a doll made to look like my daughter. Brown curls, blue eyes, and an outfit I often dressed her in. I began to sob, aching, scratched by branches. I slowly lowered myself into the grass. The doll fell to the ground. Mark let out a strangled cry. We stood there, frozen, trying to process what was going on. We both looked up. In the shadows of the forest, beyond the backyard, something was moving. A deer? I took a few seconds to process the shifting brown shape among the trees. I froze. It was a man, wearing hunter's camouflage, running back into the woods. A heavy brown bag swung over his shoulder. We chased after him, called the police, shouted and screamed and made all the noise we could. About a quarter of a mile into the forest, He dropped the bag and continued by foot. When we ripped it open, there was Casey, terrified, red-faced, mouth taped shut. I cannot even begin to describe how I felt when I saw my daughter alive. The police caught him half an hour later, hiding in the brambles by the old creek. By the binoculars, garbage, and clothes they found stashed around the woods behind our house, they guessed the man had been watching us for months. They even found a few of Casey's toys and clothes. I don't want to know what he was planning to do with our daughter, but I do know this. I bought some guns. I added shiny new locks to the front door. I installed a ton of security cameras overlooking our backyard and the woods. If it ever happens again, we'll be ready.